that our president, whose name is found over and over and over and over in these files, may have engaged in, say, child trafficking, sex trafficking. They may come to that conclusion. Now, with that being the understanding, if there are other countries that believe, because they believe in actually holding people accountable, okay? So they say, you know what? There were some girls from England or wherever, because there were people from different countries. And they say, you know what? We gonna just come and we're gonna drop in on America. We're going to bomb America. We're going to kill civilians in America because you know what? We have a warrant for his arrest. Whether it's for the child sex trafficking and the Epstein files because America doesn't want to do their job, or whether we're talking about violating international law, whether we're talking about going and just randomly killing people. I can tell you that every single one of you that is sticking up for him right now would be screaming from the rooftops.
13 Americans dead, 200 wounded, an F-35 shot down over Iran today, and Trump called it an excursion, said he might bomb more things just for fun. And then he sat down with Japan's prime minister and made a Pearl Harbor joke to her face while asking her country for military support. Meanwhile, in Congress, Jasmine Crockett said the one thing nobody else had the guts to say out loud.
I'm going to start with Tupac. We're going to start with the fact that Tupac famously said, for those of you that didn't necessarily listen to rap, that we've got money for war, but we can't feed the poor. And the reason that I bring this up is for two reasons. Number one, in order to get Maduro, the estimated cost is $3 billion. I can guarantee you that a lot of Americans would say, yes, there's a valid warrant and things like that, but for the cost of $3 billion, let's put our money somewhere else. Number one. Number two, Professor, you talked about the fact that if there wasn't the loss of life as it relates to our service members, or if this was just kind of quick boots on the ground for a second, then it wasn't war. So just answer this question for me. Would you consider what is taking place currently in the Middle East a war because we continue to have our sons and daughters returned in caskets to the United States? That's a yes or no?
No, the analysis for Iran is different.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you agree with me then? Yes?
I didn't say that.
Okay, it's different analysis. So I'm just going to go with you agree with me because this is clearly a war and it's unconstitutional. That is the bottom line. And frankly, as it relates to Venezuela, I think that we still will have some time to determine exactly how bad it is. Because imagine for 2 seconds that you had fishermen and sailors that were coming from the United States, and Venezuela all of a sudden started bombing our people, saying, oh, no, you're bringing guns. Because let me be clear, America does their fair share of nonsense in other countries. We tend to supply everybody with the guns. We flood this world with guns everywhere, right? So let's say they said, you know what? We don't want all those guns going to the gangsters in our communities. So we're just going to start blowing people up. And frankly, legally, that may work for them. You know why? We have a constitution and not everybody does. And so it is offensive to sit here and engage in this conversation as someone who practiced criminal law. And my God, everyone that I had, no matter what they were accused of, even if they were accused of capital murder, they were given an opportunity to actually show up in court and face their accusations, not be killed. So the justification, like, I don't understand why we are trying to make it partisan. It should not be partisan to just go and blow up these boats. Are you saying, Professor, that you believe that blowing up these boats because somebody believes, you know what, let me do it this way. Let's say they are drug traffickers. Do you believe that it is constitutional for the United States to blow up people that are accused of being drug traffickers?
So it's not going to be a yes or no question. If I can take
okay, then I'm going to stop you there because I only got so much time. And Professor, you know, I was really loving on you because you came from South Texas, which is down in Houston, not too far from the University of Houston where I got my law degree. But it is very clear that it is unconstitutional for us in the United States. Let me give y'all another issue that I don't understand if y'all see it the way that I do. There's this little thing called the Epstein files. There's a lot of people that have been found liable, charged, all kinds of stuff, from Prince Andrew and Peter Mandelson, from Norwegian officials, the former prime minister, and the former ambassador, all these different people, right? Some would argue, especially since there was international trafficking that was taking place, some would argue that our president, whose name is found over and over and over and over in these files, may have engaged in, say, child trafficking, sex trafficking. They may come to that conclusion. Now, With that being the understanding, if there are other countries that believe, because they believe in actually holding people accountable, okay? So they say, you know what? There were some girls from England or wherever, because there were people from different countries. And they say, you know what? We gonna just come and we're gonna drop in on America. We're going to bomb America. We're going to kill civilians in America because you know what? We have a warrant for his arrest. Whether it's for the child sex trafficking in the Epstein files because America doesn't want to do their job, or whether we're talking about violating international law, whether we're talking about going and just randomly killing people. I can tell you that every single one of you that is sticking up for him right now would be screaming from the rooftops. The analysis has to be the same. I am so offended that I am still paying my daggone student loans for law school, and it seems like none of it matters nowadays because seemingly what we do is we twist the law to justify. The analysis is the same. If you would be outraged if they came and bombed our country to go after him, to arrest him, if you're listening, that I don't know. I don't know if people are doing this. But if they decided to do that because of the Epstein files or because of violating international law, you all would be against it. So we should be against it right now. Thank you, all yield.
She said what nobody else would say. If Trump's name is all over the Epstein files and America refuses to hold him accountable, what gives us the right to bomb other countries under the same logic? Nobody in that room could answer her because there is no answer. But here's what makes today even more insane. While Jasmine was saying this in Congress, Trump was in the Oval Office with Japan's prime minister, asking her country for military support. And when a Japanese reporter asked why America did not warn its allies before attacking Iran, watch what Trump said.
Of course, no, Japan and US are very good friends. But one question, why didn't you tell US allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right? You know, he's asking me, do you believe in surprise? I think much more so than us. And we had to surprise him, and we did.
Who knows better about surprise than Japan? To Japan's prime minister in the Oval Office, while asking her for military support in his war. Japan is the only country on earth that has experienced a nuclear attack, twice from us. And Trump in that same press conference hinted at nuclear weapons, said you could end this thing in 2 seconds, while she was sitting right next to him. And here is the connection that nobody is making. Trump said nobody is even shooting at us, said it publicly, while Iran had just shot down an American F-35 fighter jet that made an emergency landing at a U.S. airbase in the Middle East. He lied about an active war while 13 Americans are dead, while Putin is helping Iran satellite imagery of U.S. troop locations, while the Wall Street Journal confirmed Russia is helping Iran target American military personnel. And what has Trump done about that? Nothing. Because it is Putin. The same Putin he refused to pressure over Ukraine. The same Putin he called a genius. And now Putin is helping Iran shoot down American planes, and Trump is standing in the Oval Office saying nobody is even shooting at us. Jasmine asked the question that the whole world is asking. We have money for war, but we cannot feed the poor. We can bomb countries under the logic of accountability, but we cannot hold a man whose name is all over the Epstein files accountable for anything. We can send working class men and women to die in Iran, but we cannot fund their health care when they come home. $200 billion, that is what this excursion costs. Trump called it an excursion. And on Saturday, he told NBC News he might bomb more things in Iran just for fun. Just for fun. That phrase will follow this presidency into history books. While 13 Americans are in caskets, while an F-35 is grounded in the Middle East. Drop a comment and tell me if you think Congress gives him that $200 billion, because that vote is coming, and it is the most important vote in years.